Welcome back, guys,
Hi.
to the Why of It All. We're so glad you're all here. Can you believe, Melanie, this is episode 10?
Oh my God, we hit double digits.
Look at us. Look at us.
We are just moving right along, folks.
Let me ask you guys something. How did you start your day this morning? Did you hit snooze 3 times, scroll Instagram before you even sat up, or start stressing out about your to-do list before your feet even hit the floor? Yeah, I've been there. We've all been there,
We've all
right?
been there.
But here's the deal. How you start your morning sets the emotional tone for your entire day.
Yeah. This episode is going to be the wake-up call. It's time to reclaim your mornings and raise your vibration before the world gets its hands on you. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, morning routines and the value of starting your day out right. But first, we would like to talk about our friends at Epic Minerals. At the Why of It All, we are passionate about healing mind, spirit, and body. And that's why we're proud to be sponsored by a brand we genuinely love and trust, Epic Minerals. Created by our dear friends Patrick and Ashley, whose passion for wellness runs as deep as ours. Epic Minerals is a family-owned American small business that offers premium mineral-based wellness products thoughtfully formulated with therapeutic-grade ingredients designed to support detoxification, mineral replenishment, and boost vitality from the inside out. Their product line includes Zeolite Extra, a heavy metal detox spray with humic and fulvic acids, Wellness Extra capsules, a daily immune support with 72 essential trace minerals to boost energy and optimize cellular function, and Colloidal Silver Extra, a powerful natural antimicrobial spray to protect against harmful pathogens and boost immunity. Epic Minerals offers powerful, nature-based wellness you can trust because it's healing from the inside out, crafted with integrity, and made with purpose. Head to epicminerals.net and use our exclusive code HEAL, that's HEAL, at checkout for 10% off of your order. And remember, when you shop small, every purchase supports a dream and makes a real difference in the lives of a real family. Epic Minerals is more than just wellness company. They're part of a healing movement, and your purchase helps to keep that movement growing. It's one of the best ways to support our show and a small business we love and believe in. So that's our dear friends Patrick and Ashley of Epic Minerals. They're wonderful people,
They are.
right? They're just amazing
they're good
people. One of my favorite products from Epic Minerals is their Colloidal Silver Extra product. I've been using Colloidal Silver in my house for many, many, many years. It's a really powerful antimicrobial. I put it in a nebulizer and nebulize it for things like if you're feeling like you're going to get sick, you're starting to get like sinus infection-y or respiratory infection-y, you can put that in a nebulizer and it's a powerful, totally natural antimicrobial. Not medical advice. Seek attention from your doctor. All the disclaimers and everything like that. But it's a wonderful product, and what makes Epic Minerals Colloidal Silver different from everybody else is they have added humic and fulvic acids to it, and those are both really incredible detoxification compounds. They boost cellular metabolism. They're strong antioxidants. And they're really, really rich in trace minerals, which of course, almost everybody out there is walking around with trace mineral deficiencies. So the product's awesome because it's just this little bottle to spray. You just spray it in your mouth daily.
Nice.
And it's a great way to get all of those benefits in a very, very easy, convenient form. And I love Colloidal Silver. So
nice.
Good stuff.
You're the one that taught me about colloidal. I didn't even know what colloidal silver meant before Melanie, like 5 years ago. So anyway, let's get into this episode. This is going to be such a fun episode. You know why? Because as Melanie and I were brainstorming about, we wanted to lighten things up, right? We wanted to lighten things up. We wanted to have it just be effortless and just, again, going back to why we started the Why of It All, an effortless conversation between two best friends that like really get each other and help each other on this growth journey. But I started talking to her. I'm like, we need to have an episode about good morning texts. Good morning text. You know what I love? I love a good morning text. And I'm going to tell you why I love a good morning. And I'm going to tell you why it sets the tone for my day. It
Mm,
really does. It sets the tone. When I wake up from my slumber and I already have a text from a friend that says, "Good morning, beautiful," or "Good morning, bestie boo," or "Good morning, angel," or "gorgeous." Like, I'm instantly consumed by just positivity and
yeah.
just good feelings. And so for me, like, even sending texts in the morning is just a good way for me to let a friend know, "I love you. I'm thinking about you. How was your sleep?" Like in the morning, like clockwork, I text my mom. Now I wait because she sleeps in a little bit, but I wait till about 9 o'clock, and it's just like clockwork. It's just a part of my like programming in the morning. We're
Yeah.
going to get into this. We're going to really dig in because we're like, how can we make a full podcast about just the good morning text? You know?
It's really about the morning routine and how you start your day. What tone for the day are you setting from the
Yep.
very moment your eyes wake up?
Yep.
And what I love about what you're talking about is um, in the past we've talked about that simultaneity of gifting and receiving, right? You're talking about how good it makes you feel
Yep.
when you wake up and you have that positive message waiting for you. But
Mhm.
you also said how good it makes you feel to send that positive message,
Yes.
right?
And
Feels
so
just as good.
when I send it to my mom, like I'm pretty like consistent with what I say. It's like, how did you sleep? How did you sleep? How do you feel? Like just showing my mom or a friend, or a bestie, just that concern. Like,
It's the connection.
how was your slumber? Yeah, it's just the
Connection,
connection.
letting people know that you care.
Yes. And I think in the grand scheme of things, for me anyway, and maybe this will resonate with a lot of our listeners, it's just a way to connect.
Mhm.
I noticed too, like it depends on what I'm going through, the seasons of my life. So if I've just dealt with a really hard breakup, a really hard separation, a time of growth where I'm struggling, which I've been on the struggle bus for a while. I've shared that. And so I know myself. I know that when I'm going through a breakup or when I'm going through a tough time or I'm trying to heal from something really traumatic,
Yeah.
I tend to send out more of those good morning texts. I notice that I send out that love more. And I think it's because, well, I think there's lots of reasons, but I think it's because now I've opened up that space in my heart that was focused on maybe something that wasn't good for me or something that I was really struggling with. And I've allowed this space to open up where I can where I can give to the people that really bring meaning to
Well,
my
God,
life.
that's the one of the best ways to snap yourself out of a negative
Isn't it?
thought pattern
Isn't
is
it?
by kindness to others,
Yes.
right?
Mhm. That's
I
it.
love it.
That's
Yeah.
what it is. And
Mhm.
so anyway, we started out like, okay, this episode needs to be about the good morning text, but it starts to get deeper when we talk about this.
Yeah.
Um, and again, we just talked about the connection and how it can be so good to receive it, but also to give it. But we want to talk about how we normally start our days, Melanie.
Yeah.
So, like me, like systematically, and this is just like me. And I think we can resonate with people saying that sometimes we're on autopilot. Sometimes we're
Mhm.
just on default, right? It's just like getting up in the morning and brushing your teeth, right? You're going to get up and brush your teeth. You're going to go to the bathroom. Like all these things, you're going to change clothes. You're going to take a shower. That stuff is default, right? It's autopilot. But other things that I think that I do in my life that are on default are not good for me. So like I'll get up, I grab my phone. It might be 5:30, 5:45 in the morning, 6 o'clock. I get straight on Instagram. I
Mhm.
start doom scrolling. And even though there's things I follow on there that are not bad, they're positive. I follow a lot of positive things on there.
You don't have any control over what that algorithm's going to show you. Crack of
Cor-
dawn, the moment your eyes open.
Correct.
Like you've got no control over that.
Correct. And I was listening to
Mhm.
this Jay Shetty podcast, and I can't remember, maybe it was about morning routines, but I remember it really hit me. And I was talking to Melanie about this yesterday. Jay Shetty on his podcast said something about when you get on your phone first thing in the morning and you start taking in all of this information, whether it be the news or Instagram or Facebook or Rumble, whatever it may be, you are literally allowing 100, 1,000 people into your bedroom, into your mind, into your thoughts. And when I
Yeah.
thought about it from that perspective, it felt really intrusive. Doesn't that feel
Yes.
intrusive?
But it's like an intrusiveness that we are choosing habitually every morning.
Right. We do it. I was still doing it. Right.
Mhm.
But yet when he put it on the table like that, I was like, ooh, like my bedroom is my sacred space. Like it's the one place that I can curl up and feel cozy and relaxed. And to get on the screen and start doom scrolling first thing, I'm inviting, right?
Yeah. And I'm guilty of it too. I mean, for me,
crazy.
it might come as a surprise to many of our listeners, but besides the healing journey and all of the wonderful things that I'm passionate about, one of my passions is actually geopolitics.
Mm-hmm.
I very much enjoy being tuned into and up to speed with what's going on in the world, nationally and globally.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I'll wake up, my eyes will open, I'll pick up my phone and I go to X and I'm like, what's been going on in the last 24 hours that I missed?
Mm-hmm.
And even though for me, I don't get anxiety from that. In fact, it feels good for me to be aware, like having the awareness of what's going on in the world is something that makes me actually feel better than the feeling of not knowing what's going on.
Wow. I see we have opposite because it stresses
most
me
people
out.
it's the other way around.
Yeah.
Most people, politics and all that stuff is heavy.
Anxious.
Yeah. But I will say this, it's the exact same thing of what you're saying. It is giving your attention and your first thing in the morning conscious thoughts to everything outside of you. Instead of prioritizing the inner self and what's going on inside, instead of prioritizing in those moments, what I'm doing is instead of prioritizing my personal well-being and the recognizing how special those first few moments of the day are and how they do set the tone for your day, I'm setting the tone with all this stuff outside of me that even if it doesn't necessarily stress me out, it's still heavy. It's still heavy material. It's still like epic and consequential and so it's still drama.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we're all guilty of that, but Gina and I, what we are here for is we're sharing our process. We're sharing these aha moments that we have where we recognize all these different things that, what, this is an area of my life that I can improve. This is an area of my life where I'm making choices that are less than optimal. And as we have these awarenesses, we're like, let's do a show about it.
And we're being completely vulnerable about it. Like I'm still at 49 years old trying to figure out a better morning routine for myself.
Yeah.
And trying to stick with it and be consistent. We're going to get into that a little bit
later.
So
this applies to like social media first thing in the morning. It applies to checking your emails and the news first thing in the morning.
Yes.
I mean, you could even consider where someone just hops out of bed and like starts rushing through their day and is rushing through the process to get something done. You're just operating on autopilot and default instead of being intentional about the tone that you're setting for the day. And that matters. That tone that you're setting matters. And the way that you wake up matters. A cortisol spike first thing in the morning is not really going to be good for your nervous system as the day continues.
So true.
If the first thing you're doing in the morning is consuming stress, you're programming your vibrational set point for the day to anxiety, and you're aligning yourself with all the experiences that are going to reinforce that for you. And if you're not being intentional with setting the tone for your day, at the best, like I said, you're on autopilot. You're on default. When you have an opportunity to not be on default, you have an opportunity to be intentional about the tone, and you can choose to set your tone in a way that is inspiring and empowering and fulfilling and light.
Does this ever happen to you? Because you're going to talk about something with you and Violet and your little morning intention. But does this ever happen? Do you ever drive her to school in the morning and you get there and you don't know how the hell you got there? Like literally autopilot,
like deep in thought.
Yeah, you're like driving and like I may be listening to a podcast in the background and my son's in the back, but like I literally pull up at my son's school in the morning and be like,
how the heck did I get here?
How the hell did I get here?
How did I not?
What have I been doing
with a wall? I think everybody has that. I think everybody has those moments when you get from A to B and you're like, oh snap, I was not present in that at all.
I guess I was good enough to hit the brake for the red light. Like, okay. Like anyway.
Thank God for peripheral vision, right? And all of that. Our brains are pretty remarkable. that we can be 98% focused on something we really shouldn't be focused on in the morning and still like function and not die.
It's wild. That's wild.
So I wanted to share, I've got this great talking about being intentional with the way that you set the tone for your day. Now I've got some work to do, and we're going to keep talking about that. I got work to do in terms of the first thing in the morning, eyes open
Morning
habit,
routine.
the morning routine.
Mhm.
But Violet and I, she's 9 now, my daughter's 9. Holy crap. For the last 3.5 years, we have this spot on our morning commute to school. It's like halfway there. And it is essentially, it's a country club golf course. And once we turn onto that road and we start passing that golf course, my daughter calls it the intention field. And it doesn't matter what we're talking about. It doesn't matter if we're listening to a song
Mhm.
or if we're in the middle, like neck deep in a podcast. Me and my daughter like to listen to Sasquatch Chronicles because it's amazing.
Mhm.
Shout out to Sasquatch Chronicles. And so it doesn't matter what's going on. As soon as we start passing that golf course, my daughter goes, "What's your intention?" And the two of us will stop whatever we're doing or whatever we're talking about or listening to and take turns setting our intention for the day. And, for me, it usually looks something like, today I'm going to have a beautiful day. Today I'm going to get this, and this done. I'm going to make sure I take time for myself. I'm going to make sure I do this, that, and the other. Today I'm going to be productive or whatever. Set your tone for what you would like the day to look like.
Mhm.
And my daughter's usually looks like something like, today I'm going to have so much fun. I'm going to enjoy free time and I'm going to practice my handstands.
I love that.
Or, if she's working on a school project or something, I want to achieve this, and this in my project. And that's something we've been doing for 3.5 years. And you know what? When I pick her up at the end of the day and we check in, like, what was your highlight for the day? How'd it go? Did you hit your intention? And almost always we have.
That's
Not always, but most of the time we have.
And I love that y'all have been consistent with that for 3.5 years.
She won't let me forget. She will not let me forget. If I'm like deep in thought about something and I'm thinking, I need to focus on my thoughts right now.
Yeah.
She won't let me. No, it's intention field time.
Aren't our kids like our best teachers?
Oh,
sometimes
so much.
Aren't they our best like little teachers?
Yeah,
we're the pupils a lot of the time.
She holds me accountable.
I love that. Max holds me accountable too.
Yeah,
he does. I love you.
Yeah,
I love you, Max. I love you, Max. Love you, son. So, and we're just trying to be completely honest when we talk on this podcast about our struggles, because literally, and I have struggled with this for years, I'm going to say, and there will be seasons in my life where I get better at it than others.
Mm-hmm.
But I know for me to be successful, to start my day out right, I need to be getting up an hour before I normally get up.
Mm-hmm.
So normally when I'm not doing the morning routines that really make me feel my best self, I'm usually getting up about 5:45, 6. And then we have to be out of the house by like 7 a.m. to get school, work, morning meeting, things like that. And that's with no stops and with traffic being good. And so there's always this like rush out of the house where like, I'm like moving and fast forward and I am just pushing. I'm like, Max, you have your food. Let's get it ready. He's eating in the car. I've got my coffee, and so
it's that default just rushing through.
Yes. But I don't like it because it doesn't, it feels rushed. I haven't done anything that morning to cleanse my soul, to cleanse my mind, to cleanse my thoughts.
And you know that. I know that when I pick up my phone and I go straight to X, and I'm like you said, doom scrolling or whatever.
Yes.
I know I shouldn't be doing it. It literally every single time I pick up the phone and I'm like, this is probably not the best thing for me to be doing right now, but I do it anyway because it's just the habit.
Yeah.
But you know what that is? It boils down to nothing more than a lack of discipline.
Yeah.
It's just
a lack of discipline.
And discipline is just building a positive habit. It just takes work. Like I don't think anybody's born with natural discipline. It's like you have to develop it.
You've got to build that muscle.
My husband, Ben, is one of the most disciplined people I've ever met in my life, in pretty much all areas of his life. And he started about 7 years ago, he started running.
Yep.
And running is not something that's hard for him. Or is easy for him. I mean,
You know how some people are just built like freaking gazelles?
Yeah.
And like when they're running, they just look
They just have a
they just
runner's
look
body
like
and
they're not
physique.
even touching the ground. They just look like they're not even trying. You know, Ben is built like a Viking.
He's
He
a
doesn't
bigger,
look like a
meatier
natural runner.
guy. Like,
And so when he started running like 6-7 years ago, it was a struggle. It was really, really hard.
mhm,
And he pushed through and he pushed through and he pushed through until it became his habit, his routine.
mhm,
This guy, for
mhm,
6 to 7 years or so,
mhm.
has been waking up at 4 a.m. every day. I think he's got one
Mhm.
rest day a week.
That's it.
But he wakes up and he runs anywhere from, like, if he's training for a marathon, he could be running 15 to 20 miles.
Yeah.
If he's
This morning he did 14
he did
miles.
14 this morning. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes he might do like an easy run or something to give his body a break, but
Yeah.
he's so disciplined. And he tells me, I say, how do you do this every morning? How do you wake up at freaking the crack of dawn
Yep.
and run? And he's like, you know, it's not always easy. Some days he knows he wants to. Some days he's ready and he's twitchy or whatever, and he gets out there and he burns off his stress. He releases all the emotional stuff out there on when he's running. But sometimes he says, you know, sometimes I don't want to do it. Sometimes my alarm goes off and I hit snooze, and then I might hit snooze again, and then eventually I have to say, nope,
Getting up.
I'm getting up, do it. He always makes himself do it, even on the hard days. And that I'm so inspired
It's inspiring.
by that discipline.
Well, it's funny because last night we were, preparing for this podcast and taking notes and talking about this. And he's in the living room. It was just so organic. And I don't know if it was you or me that was like,
you.
It was like, Ben, can you just tell us how you stay so consistent and how you are able to have a wake up time at 4 a.m.? And we just had this like real genuine conversation.
Do you remember what he initially responded? I just like to work out.
But
But that's not it.
that.
It's way
It's
more than
more
that. He's told me so many times before. It's like
It's
he would be a
stress-related.
basket case of he's got a really high pressure job.
Yeah.
And he's told me before he would be a basket case of emotion and all anxious if it wasn't for that release that he gives himself every single morning. And that is important to him.
Yeah.
And you know, part of that is neurochemical, right?
Well,
He's getting endorphins and dopamine and all that kind of stuff.
The runner's high.
Right. So he's getting that physiological benefit from him. It's helping him release stress. He's told me before that he gets out there and he gets in that runner's zone, you know, and he said sometimes his best ideas, ways that he can work through stuff going on at work and everything, he gets clarity when he's out there. But what he's doing, and what has been so inspiring for me, is he has 100% prioritized his self-care. That's his self-care. He doesn't meditate. He's not that guy.
Yeah.
He's not going to
He's
do
not
like the inner.
journaling.
He's not going to like go deeply inward and do the inner work. But his self-care is getting out there and having the discipline to commit to his own physical well-being and emotional well-being for what works for him. And guys, he could be traveling. Even when we're on vacation, we were in Florida last week. He woke up at the crack of dawn while we're on vacation in Florida, and he goes and he runs on the beach.
Yeah.
Like he will not skip a day because it's that important to him. And it's so inspiring. And he has been telling me for months, Melanie, you just need to, you got to wake up early. So the truth is that although I will say most days I get my self-care in, but if I'm being perfectly honest with myself, it wasn't my top priority because the way that I was working it in is I was getting all of the stuff done first. I was taking care of the house. I was taking care of running the errands. I was working on, podcast stuff. I was prioritizing everything else in my life first, and then find a time here or there that I can squeeze in for example, my limbic rounds or squeeze in a walk. And if things get too crazy in a day, that's the stuff that would fall by the wayside. I was not prioritizing my well-being.
And I think we make excuses sometimes. Like I know I do. Like I make an excuse, like say you didn't sleep well the night before. You've had insomnia issues in the past. Like I have sometimes restless nights, and sometimes, it's just easier to hit that snooze or set the alarm an hour later, because if you don't go to bed in that, magical hour, you're going to be tired if you get up at 5 or 4 a.m., and so that it's like it's like right there, that's when the click has to change. Like you can make all the excuses, like I've got to do this, I got to get this. And I do that too in the day. I've got to do the laundry, I've got to do this, then I'll do my workout. And then you know what happens? I don't do it because then something else happens, right? Something else comes up. And that's why I think the morning, that's that sweet spot.
It's the sweet spot.
I know. And I fight it because I'm really not genetically a morning I say I'm not, but like, I'm not a 4 a.m.er, you know, I'm more like a 7 a.m.er, 6 a.m.er. And so for me, and that 5 a.m. wake up call is going to be tough, but anyway, we're going to get there. And so this is a perfect segue for you to talk about everything that happened last night and your new routine and how it inspired us to do what we did last night and this morning.
Yeah. So I had this profound experience. It was actually 2 nights ago. Profound experience. It was like it was like 8:00 at night, right? Again, deprioritizing the tools that I use for my own self-care. And it had been a crazy busy day. And so I wasn't getting to my self-care until way late at night. And so if you've been watching our show for a while, episodes 6, 7, 8, we talked a lot about nervous system rewiring. And I talked a lot about the limbic retraining exercises that I've been doing. So I go upstairs and I close the door and I'm beginning the process of doing my limbic work that looks like really high emotional state visualizations. And I went through that whole process. And at the end of it, what happens is when I finish that process, I'm like pretty much in a meditative state by that point. Like it's, you know, that feeling of when you're deep in it, and I'm just at the cusp of that. And so I decided to go ahead and just carry on into a meditation. And oftentimes throughout the years, I think a lot of people can relate to this. When you're in that meditative state, that's when guidance can come in. That's when you're, whatever works for you, whether you consider it to be God coming in and delivering messages to you, if you consider it intuition, downloads from source, whatever works for you. But when I'm in that meditative state, that's when I get that
answers,
that clarity.
It's when you get the clarity.
Yes, the clarity comes in.
Yes.
And so in that moment, after getting into that space, I had this download of clarity that came in that really made it so obvious that I was not prioritizing my own well-being and my self-care. And what I heard was that I've got the tools, as in, I've got the know-how. So I understand that the root cause of the chronic illness that I've been dealing with for a decade was about nervous system dysregulation. So I've got the information, I've got the tools, I know how to process through that and help to calm my nervous system. The last step I heard in my physical body healing journey was to prioritize myself, prioritize my daily self-care. Don't fit it in when I can. Build that shit into your schedule. It is a non-negotiable.
It's a non-negotiable.
And what was interesting is in that moment, I even was able to like download and get clarity on what the routine should look like in an ideal world for me. And this is, of course, partially inspired by my husband, who has been telling me for months that you need to just wake up earlier. So here's what I heard. Here's what came through. First things first, wake up an hour earlier than you usually do. So I'm with you, 7 a.m. That's my natural thing. My eyes open at 7, but I'm going to set my alarm now for 6. So wake up an hour earlier than usual every single day. Number 2, drink my coffee, which is my priority. So like I wake up and I stumble to the coffee pot and I don't do anything else until I've got my coffee. And so the next thing was get your coffee and then sit down and journal. I can drink my coffee while I'm journaling. Can't necessarily meditate while I'm drinking my coffee, but I can drink my coffee while I'm journaling. So that was the next piece. Do your daily journal entry first thing in the morning.
Coffee, because that makes sense for
you. And sometimes when I journal, I'm reflecting on the day before. Sometimes when I journal, I'm pre-paving the day. Sometimes I'm just in a state of appreciation for what is, and I'm doing my rampage of appreciation and just getting gushy with how much, all the sunshine, rainbows, and butterflies about it. So that was step 2, drink your coffee and do your journaling. After the journaling, I heard that's when you do your limbic round. That's when you immediately do your nervous system work to set the tone for the way that your nervous system is going to be operating for that day. By then, it's going to be about 7 a.m., which is when I got to go wake up my daughter, get her ready for school and all that, get in the car, get her to school. And what I heard was after school drop off, go for my walk.
Yeah.
Do my exercise. Don't wait till the end of the day. Maybe if I have time.
Yeah. Just do it. Get your
prioritize the physical activity, get that in for the day. It is, I heard, only after I have finished my self-care for the day do I do any work.
And so last night, she's sharing with me her journal entries, like what messages she got, what downloads she got. And so we're sitting here and I'm like, okay, we're going to do this. Like, we're going to do this. And so it was actually my idea to say, you know what, why not start tomorrow? Or for me, because she's already been kind of incorporating this. And so we had this cute little thing. We're like, okay. At first I said, okay, let's set our alarms for 7. We'll come down, we'll have coffee together and we'll journal together. And she's like, no, I think I need to be alone for that. I'm like, yeah, you're right. You know what? I do too.
It's a personal thing. And I need my space for journaling and meditating.
And so I thought, I nixed that. I said, that's not a good idea, but let's get up at 7. So this morning
it's the weekend. So we gave ourselves an hour to sleep in.
And for me,
instead of 6.
And for me during the work week, it's going to have to be 5 a.m. for me. But anyway. And so we actually met, she was already getting coffee. We did our little hi, good morning. I went back upstairs. I did not pick up my phone. I was so proud of myself.
That's the other piece of it. No looking at the phone until you are done with at least that hour of journaling and meditation or whatever you're choosing.
Now, let me preface that by saying I picked up my iPad, which is just like my phone, but only to look at my 2 apps that I use in the morning for my journaling and meditation. So I have the Jesus Calling app and then I have the Bible app.
Yeah, you didn't doom scroll on Instagram.
No, did not. Didn't check messages, didn't check the weather, didn't check IG, Facebook, anything like that. I literally went directly straight to those apps. And I journaled and I prayed and I, meditation prayer. And then I read a chapter in a book that I just started this last week. And that took up about the full hour. And then I came downstairs right at 8, said, Mel, are we going to go on our walk?
And that was right about the time I was wrapping it up with doing my nervous system work.
Yep. And so we got dressed. We went on our walk. She said, how long do you want to walk? I said, let's do 20 to 30 minutes. And halfway through the walk, and we could just kick ourselves for not recording it because we had the most intense, deep, profound, purposeful conversation. And how did it even start?
I don't know, but I have to believe that it came because we had already set the tone for the day.
We did.
We had already put ourselves in that high vibrational mindset. And so when you're already there, the clarity just pours in.
I remember when we first got on the walk, I didn't share this with you, but Melanie's telling me about something that's going on with a friend of hers or something. And we're talking about it. And I just walking with her, we're not looking at devices. We're just truly there with each other. And I just felt this peace. I can't explain it other than just feeling so fulfilled that I was there walking with you after we'd done this work in the morning separately, but then came together and then did this walk. And then we're almost home. And I wasn't even paying attention to where we were because I was so engrossed in what she was telling me about.
We were present.
Oh, we were so present. That's my favorite thing with you. It's it's just because you don't
present with each other. I should say we were present very much with each other.
And it makes me emotional because I'm just an emotional baby all the time. But I got cracky when we were talking. I started crying because there are people in your life that see you, that really, really see you. And you're one of those people. And there's only a handful. All you need is a couple. But to feel seen when in my past, I've been in relationships that I didn't feel seen. I didn't feel validated. I didn't feel special. I felt dismissed. And to be surrounded I just such
Yeah.
love and compassion, and just like, she's not just telling me these things because it's good for her. She's telling me these things because she wants to affect me positively. She wants to connect with me. She wants to see me thrive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the most selfless thing that you do, is you give your time to me, and you give your energy, and you're really truly, and you know what's funny, we joke about this, but, and you know, we've got friends for different seasons, right? And different friends that we go to different things for, but Melanie and I, it's so funny. It's funny this is taking this turn, but when we're together, it's funny because we don't get a lot of pictures together until we started doing the podcast.
Yeah, we
always-
have to like make ourselves
we
take
always-
pictures and stuff because
Yes, like,
otherwise we'll just
we
be in the zone together.
Yes. And so
Yeah.
it's funny, like we'll go on a hike or we'll go on a walk, and like we get done and I'm like, God, we should have taken a selfie. Or like I'll spend all weekend at our house and I go home and I'm like, we didn't really. But it's because we're so in the moment and we're so present, right?
Yeah.
With like our conversations and our connection, that we don't need the pictures. We don't need the social media. We don't need, it's like, it's the most pure, genuine friendship that I've ever had
And you know,
in my
I
life.
think, of course, there's a bazillion reasons for that, but the reason we have this show
Mhm.
is because you and I have been on simultaneous parallel healing journeys
Mhm.
for as long as we've known each other.
Mhm.
So that's something that we've always been able to lean on each other with
Mhm.
and hold each other accountable.
For sure.
And we're getting even better at that. And when we were walking this morning,
uh-huh.
it just popped into my head, you know, because we had been doing show prep for the episode, and Gina had shared with me about the good morning text and how
Mhm.
powerful the good morning text is. It's such a simple thing. It's such a
Simple.
little simple
I know.
thing that I think most people would totally disregard as being valuable, but you recognize how valuable it is to you, and we use that as the jumping off point for the whole theme and topic of this show, of the importance of the morning routine and setting the tone for the day. And it popped into my head. She and I are both, you know, recommitting to prioritizing our well-being, recommitting to waking up and doing the self-care early.
Mhm.
Excuse me.
Mhm.
We should be each other's accountability partners. And so we decided
Yes, we did
that
today.
at 6 a.m.,
Mhm.
because she'll be up earlier than me, but I'll be up by 6 a.m., we're going to send each other that good morning text.
We are.
We're going to commit to doing that.
We are.
Now, it's picking up your phone, but we're
Yes.
not going to be going on social media.
No, we're not.
We're not going to be doom scrolling. We're
No.
not going to be checking the weather and doing all that. It's just a quick moment of
I see you.
sending it. Yes.
I see you.
Yes. Sending
Yeah.
each other that message of love and
Mhm.
encouragement and
Mhm.
accountability for the day. Hey, I'm up. I'm doing my self-care. How about you? Are you up? If I don't get that
Yes.
text back, I'm going to assume you're not.
Yes.
Unless you're deep in meditation. I guess
Yeah.
I can give you some look over.
Or in the shower.
Or in the shower.
something.
Yes. You maybe will have already finished all your
Yeah,
stuff by
yes.
the time I'm starting.
Yeah, but that's okay.
But anyway, it was just this walk this morning was just so profound. Like, we got so much out of it. And I really do think it's because we both made this commitment to wake up and prioritize ourselves and get the day started right. And man, did we nail it. We freaking nailed
But
it.
we always nail it. But just, it's so crazy though about like how we work with one another in the friendship. And like, don't you see all the synchronicities leading up to this episode, literally leading up to this moment in our lives?
Yeah.
It's so profound. Like, again, and I think the other reason too that her and I connect is we both like to get on a deeper level. Like, you know, there's people that are just kind of superficial and just kind of like
Surface level.
they like to sit at the surface, and that's fine. No judgment on that. But like for me, where my heart just feels full and where I feel content is when I can pour in and when somebody can pour into me. And so it's just, it's exactly right how we should be starting these morning routines and starting over and starting fresh and doing the accountability. Like, this is the right time for my life, for your life, like everything that we have going on separately. It's just so funny how it always,
Yeah.
right? Like the timing. of just this podcast.
And so here we are, just being honest with you guys. Like,
Yeah.
we are still on our journey. We're not claiming to have it all figured out. Once again, we're sharing that.
No.
But man, I'm telling you, when I was in that meditation, I got the download for what my routine should look like.
Yeah.
I was kind of wondering, back in my mind, I was kind of wondering, like, is this going to be the kind of thing where I'm like, I don't want to wake up an hour earlier. Ugh. And like, I'm going to have to do it and do it and do it until it becomes something that I cherish as part of my important thing that I love doing for myself. I was wondering how that was going to go. And I'm telling you guys, my alarm went off at 6 for the first time, and I went, bing, and I couldn't wait to do it. And yes, I've only done it 2 days.
I was going to say, let's hope every day feels like that.
But
it may not, and that's okay.
I've only done it 2 days, but oh my God, yesterday was amazing. We were on fire getting stuff done, being productive.
We worked all day yesterday.
This morning was friggin' amazing. It's early. No, it's already noon, but but we've been on it. Like Gina and I have been in the zone all day.
We have.
I don't know about you, but I'm in a terrific mood today.
I am too. I literally we just want everybody to know that we're on this journey with you. We are learning. and I want to say something to come back to real quick, but like her downloads and her everything she shared with me today, I've been getting that nudge for myself. I've been like asking God, what's the next step in this healing process? I've done all the therapy. I've done all the EMDR. I've done all the journaling. I've done what's the next step? And I was telling her last night, I'm like, you're my inspiration. I have another girlfriend too that's on this healing journey, like physical healing journey. And she's been so inspiring to me too. And so what I'm trying to say is that I've been getting those nudges, and listen to those nudges, I guess is what I'm saying, because again, I'm not beating myself, but I should have been doing this months ago to propel, right, this healing. But here we are now. We're here now. You inspired me last night. I inspired you with the thought for the show. We ran with it. And now look, we're 40 something minutes into it. We said, this is going to be a short episode. It's going to be a really short episode. But
you know what those nudges though? That's your intuition, right? Your intuition is telling you what you need to hear. But I don't think necessarily we need to when we do kind of ignore the nudges for the first few times we get the nudges and you kind of brush it off a little bit. I don't necessarily think we need to make that wrong, because what ends up inevitably happening is you get the nudge and it plants a seed. You get the nudge,
plants another seed.
It's starting to build its momentum. And then God, the universe, whatever you'd like, comes in and presents another person in your life, or some impulse or some thing that clicks it into place and goes, oh,
that's it.
Those nudges I've been feeling, that's it. Something will come together at the exact right moment to confirm the intuition you've been having. And so in that moment, you'll go, yes, okay, definitely, this is what I'm choosing. That was confirmation that the direction I've been kind of thinking I should go is for sure the direction I should go. Because when it occurs, you're going to feel the rightness of it.
And that's how it felt this morning.
100%.
That's how it felt. So we're just going to keep riding this out. We'll let you know how we're doing in the next episode, because we will be honest and vulnerable and tell you the truth. But
we should maybe check in. Maybe we do that for a little while and check in each episode and be like, how you doing on your self-care?
Yeah, because we are going to be each other's accountability partners. We are going to do everything we can to support each other and keep going. So anyway.
So guys, every single day is a fresh chance to choose alignment instead of autopilot. And if you guys out there have your morning routine that really works for you, something that really sets the tone for your day that you love, a routine that you cherish, tell us about it. Like, jump into the comments, find us on social media. We have all of our links and everything is in the show description. Hop on, join the conversation. Tell us what you're doing. I'm totally wide open to other suggestions.
Please.
And other ideas.
I love feedback.
Yes, absolutely. So let us know what you're doing too. I think that would be a great addition.
Yeah. And give us feedback on what you thought about this show. Give us feedback on what you thought about this episode. All right.
Yeah. And if you've enjoyed this episode, one of the best ways to give us that feedback is to hit that positive affirmation button down there. Whatever you're on, follow, subscribe. It's different for every platform, but that is one of the greatest ways to support our show and help us
Mhm.
expand our reach is
Mhm.
to just give us that little, hit the little button. Just
Hit the like button.
hit the button.
Or the comment
Uh,
button.
And also, of course, share. If you can share this
Mhm.
to your page, share it with your friends, share it with somebody in your life who you know would probably resonate.
Mhm.
Somebody who is maybe looking to make a change, somebody who's in their healing journey. Send to your friends. That's another great way. And then, of course, finally, to visit epicminerals.net and take a look at their incredible products that they
Mhm.
have there. Support a real American small business that is a family-owned business. And in doing so, you support our show as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
We love
This
you
has been
guys.
great.
See you next time.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.